I don't even know where to begin when discussing this game. Deus Ex Mankind Divided has so much going for it, but at the same time, some of the positives can be outweighed by just how unfinished and unpolished the game is. I really enjoyed my playthrough of the game, but was losing my freaking mind because of how broken it is. When this game is firing on all cylinders, it is genuinely one of the better gaming experiences you can have. In my opinion, this game comes close, very close, to being a classic. Not simply because it's good but not great, but because it has the bones to be an all-time great game, but fails to execute in key areas, largely due to corporate greed it seems. The gameplay loop is great. The story is intriguing, a little heavy-handed but interesting. The game is political, and contrary to popular belief, I don't hate politics in video games. I just hate stupid politics in video games.
I swear it's gotten even worse here in the past few days. Everyone looking over their shoulder. Terrified Augs like us are going to attack them again.
Somebody probably will. Treat people like animals long enough, they'll start acting like animals.
You say that like there's nothing we could do to stop it.
I already tried 2 years ago. It didn't work out so well.
So what? Are you saying we should just give up? Let hatred and prejudice take over? To hell with that!
And for the most part, this game handles the political themes well. The story is unfinished though, and we'll get into that more later. This is a single-player game with microtransactions, and this game, to say it has performance issues, would be an understatement. You'll see that as I discuss this game that I'm very conflicted, because I did enjoy my experience with it. But there are things that bring the experience down and hard. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Drinker here, and today we are reviewing Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Really quickly though, guys, before the video begins, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that good shit. I hate saying it, but it helps the channel grow a ton. Comment down below letting me know what other types of videos that you want to see from me in the future. Consider becoming a channel member or checking out my locals if you wish to support me further. But let's go ahead and jump right back into the video. As I said briefly in the intro, the gameplay loop is actually pretty solid. It's a mix of first-person shooting and third-person shooting when you snap to cover, but it's more than a shooter. You have augments that can really help you vary your playstyle and play how you want. Basically, you get praxis points that you can use to unlock different augments, which are your abilities. You can't have everything selected at once, so you have to manage which ones you're currently using. You'll have more than enough praxis points to unlock the things you want during your playthrough though. In my playthrough, I purposely didn't use some augments because I thought they might make the game a little too easy. The shooting has extremely generous auto-aim when you first ADS, the snap is really strong, but then it's hard to track enemies after. Now, because of the augments, and because of the aiming being more difficult to track enemies, I prefer to play stealthily. The stealth is really fun, and you can find a ton of alternate paths and silently take down enemies, disable their security, and even make their turrets and robots target them. I love killing all the enemies without them ever knowing I was there. And again, with the way the gunplay works, you're honestly rewarded for not going in guns blazing. And the level design is really top-notch. The amount of alternative paths you can find is just crazy, and it really uses verticality well. The game offers so much freedom of choice when playing it. There's lethal and non-lethal takedown animations. You'll see the same takedown animations over and over again. They look badass, but they're repeated a lot. This is also one of those games that you can basically steal everything that isn't nailed down and no one cares, so of course I just hoover up everything until my inventory's full. Now I'm only going to talk about this once here, but when the game launched, the microtransactions were pretty egregious. You were able to buy praxis points and credits, which maybe you still can, I didn't even look into it, but that's pay to win in a single player game, which is just ridiculous, and you don't need it at all. The game's not super difficult, it's not game journal easy, but you shouldn't have to buy those things. I remember when we used to type in cheat codes, now we type in credit card numbers. The hacking minigame is okay, but it feels a little bit like a dice roll where you spam the nodes as quick as you can and just hope to get lucky. There's a crafting system, but it almost feels useless because I always had a full inventory, again from my loot obsession. Again, the freedom to play how you want to play is the game's greatest strength. There's a ton of player choice when it comes to different playstyles. Most of your time in the game will be spent walking around Prague. The game is open world, and Prague has different sections that you take a train to, and that acts as the loading screen. There's a few other sections outside of Prague like the Swiss Alps, but those are really just one main story mission and then you're back to Prague. The game still looks really good for being about a decade old. I'm not sure if the footage will really even do it justice, but the visuals have aged pretty well. Sometimes you're like, damn, this game still looks really good. There's also a ton of attention to detail in the environments. You experience Prague in the day, night, sun, rain, and the color palette is very realistic. The sections of Prague, which are just a few square blocks for each section, feel very real both in size and density. The apartments actually feel lived in, the businesses feel functional, and many of the buildings you can enter. I would rather have a world be smaller but more dense than large and empty. Fallout 3 is a great example of this. The world is nowhere near as big as you think it is, but it feels big because it's crammed full of stuff. And that's one thing this game does really well. You can really tell there was a lot of passion poured into the level design. There's alternate paths that you might never see, but the developers took their time with them. The sheer attention to detail while making it feel both realistic but still video gamey is absolutely top notch. Now I'm going to talk about the story, and there will be spoilers ahead, so click off the video or skip ahead if you don't want to be spoiled. I would have said the story was good if it didn't end abruptly. The game just ends. You feel like there should be another couple of missions, but nope. You show up, you're too late, and all these people died, and boop, the game is over.
McCready. I'm too late. They're all dead.
It really feels like the story was unfinished, and given the functionality of the game, which we'll get to later, I think the game was just unfinished. I actually looked into it and my suspicions were confirmed. It seems like Square Enix did this to try to sell a sequel. The game seems to have been cut in half for a sequel to have been made, and then the sequel was cancelled, so the story really is unfinished. An unfinished story is truly unforgivable, man. This game itself is the sequel to Human Revolution, and they actually have a recap video that you can watch if you want in the main menu, if you didn't play it or didn't remember Human Revolution. More games used to do this, and I wish this sort of thing would return because not everyone is going to play the previous game. The basics of the story in Mankind Divided is you play as Adam Jensen. Adam works for Interpol in Prague and is tracking down augmented terrorists and now finds himself having to navigate in a world that's hostile towards the augmented. This is after the AUG incident where augmented people were driven to psychotic acts of violence. Millions died, including about 90% of the augmented. The public, now naturally fearful of the AUGs, this led to discrimination and even segregation between AUGs and naturals. It's interesting because there's even some political rhetoric that sounds like it could have come straight out of Black Lives Matter, only, more intelligently done. AUGs are even referred to as the slur clanks. Those dirty clankers. Those darn cliggers. Also, this game just goes to show you that people's fears and prejudices are rarely ever baseless. Jensen doesn't know who to trust. He's torn between his task force TF-29 and the Juggernaut Collective, which is a hacker group opposed to the Illuminati. The Illuminati, who I did notice don't have any members named Berg or Stein, are working on an initiative called the Human Restoration Act, which will force AUGs to have a control chip installed, or they will be placed in facilities specifically designated for augmented people. While this is going on, there's things like terrorist attacks happening, and again, these things force Jensen to question who's really on his side. The story is fairly deep and complex, and has a couple gut-wrenching moments. There's times where the stakes don't feel as high as they could, but overall it's very compelling. Again, it's not very subtle and can often be pretty heavy-handed, but still compelling overall, except when it's just cut short. That certainly takes away from how compelling it is. Most of the characters and voices are pretty good overall. Of course, Adam's voice is nailed, but the rest of the cast can be a little up and down. Overall, though, I don't really have many complaints, though. The lip syncing can be pretty bad at times, like really bad at times. Some of the character animations in general aren't great, but again, they're fine for the time. There's some really interesting side quests in Mankind Divided as well. One was a murder mystery where you find out one of the witnesses, an unassuming woman, is the killer who wants to make Jensen whole again by harvesting his AUGs.
Oh, thank God. I knew you'd find me. We must hurry before he comes back.
Before who comes back? The man who killed Angela Gunn?
Yes. He knows you're after him. He wanted you to come.
So where is he?
He's everywhere. Can you not feel his presence? Are you not scared?
Why did he bring you here? What does he want?
He's using me to get to you. He thinks that by removing your augmentations, he can make you whole again. Quickly, come closer. Help me to get out, and then deal with him. Please, I beg you.
I need to know where he is first. How long ago did he leave here? Which way did he go?
You've got to be joking. We don't have time for all these questions. If he knows I spoke to you, he will kill me. Please, my ankle. Come closer. You must help me escape.
I don't see what the hurry is. You're safe where you are for now. I need to deal with the killer first.
A little late to back away now, isn't it? You would sidestep salvation so close to the gate? I don't think so. Admit it, all this time you ignored the facts because deep down you wanted to be saved.
I came here to help you.
You're the one who needs help. Don't you understand that? I can make you human again. I have to make you human again. It's not too late. You need not die a machine.
The lead detective didn't believe me, and I actually had to kill him as well.
All I know for sure is Daria wasn't what she appeared to be. The answers we're both looking for are still out there.
So you say? How convenient for you that she's dead now. Not being able to talk to her, to confirm any of this. It puts me in an impossible position. In fact, I'm sorry. I'm afraid it gives me no choice at all.
There's multiple side quests like this that are actually interesting from start to finish. Again, the level of thought and detail that was put into a lot of this was staggering. This is definitely one of those earlier games though that started to insert more and more left-wing propaganda, although it's definitely more subtle than what we see today. There's a lot of diversity, again nowhere near as egregious as modern games like Mind's Eye, and a lot of girl bosses. Half of Interpol's agents are women. Fortunately, most of them seem to be analysts instead of field agents though. I talked about it briefly in the intro, but this game is buggy as hell. I played on PC and experienced numerous crashes, endless loading screens, bug textures, a lot of clipping, and it even blue screened my PC once. I hope it runs better on console, but on PC it runs horribly. You basically have to run it in DX11 because certain missions break in DX12. And even then you have to change your CPU's core priority to keep it from crashing. I was losing my mind at all of the bugs and issues it had. I'm really conflicted with how I feel about this game. It's a fun game with an intriguing story, but it falls short because of its quality and just being unfinished in general. It's not a masterpiece, despite what some people will try to tell you, but it's not awful either. I put about 20 hours into the game, which is a solid length of time. A decent portion of that was side quests, but again, the game just isn't finished. You can frequently get this game for just a few bucks, so even with all the issues, it is more than worth it. If the game wasn't so broken, and if the story had a better conclusion, I would, without hesitation, call this game a classic. But as it stands, it has too many issues for me to rate it quite so highly. The issues it has makes it only close to a classic. Anyways guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that good shit. It really does help the channel grow a ton. Consider becoming a channel member or checking out my locals if you wish to support me further. The next video I do will probably be a review of the new Mafia game when it comes out, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. But as always guys, this has been your boy Drinker, and I'm out of here. Peace.
I am sure you will agree with me on this one, folks. No matter what name these people go by, there is nothing more dangerous than the spread of false news.